last night around 3 a.m., I noticed that I didn't have any service on my cell phone. And I thought it was kind of strange, but I didn't put too much thought into it. Until about 30 minutes later, I looked and my phone was on SOS mode around 3:30 in the morning. And I'm like, what in the heck is going on? I just paid my bill a couple of days ago. Did something go wrong? Did they not get, the payment? Did they cut my service off? What's really going on here? So I started to look into it. And it turned out that millions upon millions of Americans all over America were without cell phone service. So I went to sleep. I woke up to millions of Americans complaining that they have no cell phone service. This has to be one of the biggest outages I've ever seen in my life. Apparently, it has affected people who have Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, even smaller carriers like Cricket, and the list goes on. A lot of people have been affected by this. And no one knows what was going on. It's just randomly in the middle of the night, cell phone service just went out. So a lot of people weren't able to make calls. If you weren't around Wi-Fi, you're basically screwed, right? Luckily, I have Wi-Fi, so I'm still able to connect to Wi-Fi, but I can't make any calls. I can't use any data or anything outside of Wi-Fi. So I'm sitting here like, this is kind of strange. Is this some type of cyber attack? Because I've never seen an outage on this level, where people from Florida all the way up to freaking Seattle, Washington, anywhere, every corner of America has been affected. And it's not just one cell phone provider. It's not just one service provider. It's an entire list. More than half a dozen cell phone providers just within a snap of a finger at 3 a.m., they just all turn off. So I'm thinking, this must be a major cyber attack. That's what would cause something like this. But then the news came on. Around 5, 6 a.m., the morning news started coming on all around America. And they had an excuse ready. Basically, what they're doing right now is they're blaming space weather. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a joke. After hours of people being without cell phone service, when the morning news comes on, all across America, they're parroting some of the same stuff. They're basically saying that space weather caused all of our cell phones to be without service. They're blaming solar flares from the sun. I kid you not. Honestly, I don't even know what to say, so let me just roll this news clip so you can hear it out their mouth. Because hearing it from me may sound too ridiculous. So let's tune into the news. Let's hear what they have to say. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. But let's watch this clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Phone, and it's saying SOS. What's going on? My husband had that this morning, and he's freaking out. And I was like, did you do your phone updates? No, this is all happening at 3 a.m. So we did that. Coming to work. He's not the only one, guys. If you're experiencing that, it may be a result of space weather. Okay, I'm going to do my best to explain what's going on. Let's go ahead and take a look. So there was a strong solar flare event that happened just after midnight, and they actually captured an image of it right here, okay? I had to look up this scale. I wish I knew everything about space weather. That's a whole different specialty. But R3, that's for radio communications. It's on a scale of 1 to 5, and 3 is pretty bad. That means it impacts radio communications for a few hours after this happens. And so right now that could be impacting some of our technology. And sadly, we're entering a solar maximum where we're going to see more and more solar storms, solar flares. And it's never happened in this time of human history where we're relying on technology like we have never before.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. They're blaming a solar flare. Not to be confused with the solar flare special move, made famous by Krillin on Dragon Ball Z. No. This is a flare from the sun. But the craziest part about this solar flare is that it obviously has it out for America because no other country was affected by this solar flare. People in South America are okay, people in Canada, people in the UK, people in Australia, people in Japan, people in China, people in Russia, they're all okay. Their cell phones are working just fine. The solar flare only affected America. I don't know if the solar flare had meetings with Putin or Xi Jinping. Maybe the solar flare is related to Kim Jong-un. I don't know why the solar flare decided that it was going to only affect American cell phone services, but it did, apparently. Apparently the sun and the flares that shoot off the sun, they have a mind of their own, okay? They'll target certain countries, but not other ones. So, when I'm looking at this, I don't know. I don't know, folks. I'm not an expert here. I don't know how solar flares really work. Do I think solar flares could affect some of our satellites and stuff like that? Sure. Do I think a solar flare is going to happen and it's only going to affect cell phone services in America? I'm not really buying that, folks. I don't know if this was a cyber attack from an enemy that they don't want to tell us about. Was this a dry run for something that they're already preparing to do? Because let's be real, we know they want to cut our communications. They hate that we communicate as much as we do. They hate that we're able to share information rapidly on X, on YouTube, on Facebook, you name it. They hate it. They want to be in control of the information. They want to be in control. They want to be in control of who says what and who's able to talk to who. So this could be a solar flare. It could be a cyber attack. It could be anything, but it also could be them doing a dry run, prepping you for what's to come. And the way people are freaking out about this cell phone service outage, they're not going to be ready when something worse happens. And if you ask me, I think we should pay very close attention to this situation. Because right now, they may be showing us their hand. I think right now, they may be showing us what their plans are in the future. Listen, the powers that be, they love, how can I put it? They love invisible enemies that you can't really prove are real or fake. You can't really prove if they're there or not. Just like with the beer bug and the lockdowns that we experienced. Most of us, we're not medical scientists. We don't know how to research these type of things. So we don't know if this is real or if this is fake or if this does this or if this does that or if this is as bad as they say it is. It's this invisible enemy that they can scare you with. Force you into compliance. The same thing goes with solar flares. If all of a sudden, all of our communications are wiped out and they blame solar flares, how can we tell them any different? You know what I mean? Are you going to get a telescope and are you going to become an astrologist? Are you going to figure out that it's all a lie? You know what I mean? So this may be them showing their hand. It's a sign of what's to come. I can guarantee you, I don't know how bad it will be, but I can guarantee you that solar flares will be used as excuses in the future for them to get away with doing other things. All right? So pay attention closely today, because right now, I think they're kind of tipping us off to what's to come in the future. Because if this solar flare that only targeted American cell phone companies, if it proves to be effective, then who's to say it won't happen again? Because right now, listen, solar flare, no solar flare, I just have a hard time believing that it would only affect communication devices within one country. It's just really weird to me. So I do think there may be more to this, but maybe not. But at the end of the day, I can guarantee you now that you haven't heard the last of these solar flares. The government's not going to let this go to waste. This will be used as excuses in the future for some other things. I can already see it. But for now, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're feeling generous and you would like to donate to the channel so maybe I could pay my phone bill. Just kidding, I already paid it. You could donate to the channel via Cash App. I'll have my Cash App in the pinned comment. You could also donate via Super Thanks or for free. You could like the video, share the video, and all of that good stuff. But with that being said, I'll talk to you all soon, hopefully. Hopefully, if a solar flare doesn't wipe out YouTube, I'll be talking to you all soon in the next one.